would you assess the way the offense has performed in the red zone this year?
Pretty good. And I think when we've needed to punch it in, we have. We've had to kick a few field goals down there, but we have a pretty good kicker, and he's done a great job. So I think our efficiency down there is pretty good. But I mean, there's a couple times where I wish we could have not had to kick. But when we've needed to get a touchdown down there, I thought we punched them in.
And you go against that defense every day.
Yeah.
In the red zone. What makes them so good?
Well, how talented and how hard they play. They give you a lot of good looks down there. They can press you up front with a lot of people and play man-to-man coverage real tight. So there's not a lot, to do in the red zone. I mean, it makes it challenging. So we go against them. We had red zone today for 15, 20 minutes against them, and it's hard. It's like I said, they can put a lot of people up there and play tight man coverage, and there's not much room to operate. You got to be really good.
Urban said on Saturday when he went into the locker room at halftime, he wanted to have a few choice words. The offense was talking, the defense was talking. How proud of you are of the coaches and the players to not be in a panic, not be disorderly, and to do workmanlike things at halftime to adjust everything and then come out in the second half like that?
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to the team on Monday, and that's what I said to the team. I said the thing that impressed me the most is when I came out of the press box, I didn't know what I would walk into in the locker room, and what I walked into was a bunch of guys that said, hey, they were focused, they were ready to listen, let's make some adjustments, let's figure out what we need to do, and let's go play better. And the way we keep track of offensive drives, we have an efficiency thing that we keep track of offensive drives. So it has nothing to do with scoring touchdowns. It has nothing to do with yards. It has to do with efficiency. And I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but we were 6 for 6 on efficient drives in the second half. So, when you do that, you took care of business. And we ended up moving the ball. I know we ended up, we had an interception down there on the 5-yard line. I think it started downpouring like about 7 seconds before we called that play.
And then quit right after, yeah.
And quit a couple plays later, but that one kind of slipped out, but had them open. So, I feel good about the way our guys responded. So to answer your question, this team, for a young team, did not get rattled on the road, being behind and down and not really playing very good on either side of the ball in the first half. They were focused. They wanted to go out and let's get this thing right. What do we need to do? The coaches were the same way. It was all business, and then the intensity cranked up, and we went out and did what we had to do, and, proud of our team.
And that bodes well for this weekend, going into another hostile environment, a whiteout. The Penn State fans never quit. Penn State never quits. It's going to be back-to-back just...
Yeah, that's we have to be up to the challenge. We're going to get their A game. That's a tough place to play. They have a good football team that's won some games, and they're ready for us. They've had 2 weeks off to get ready. So, again, we've got to be at our best. And their crowd gives energy. Their crowd is big, loud. That's one of the hardest environments to play in. But we've had success in the 2 tough environments we've been in. I mean, those 2 places we played are tough places to go play against good football teams. We're going to have the same challenge, another good football team on the road with a great home crowd advantage that they have. So.
And you're 20-0. You haven't lost a road game under...
Is that right?
Wow.
That's pretty good. True road game.
A true road game.
Clemson.
On an opponent's home field.
Michigan State, yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew that. How remarkable is that to go as long as you have?
It's a credit to Coach Meyer and the program and the way he handles and does business and the way he sets everything up. We have a great plan, and it is. It's just a credit to how we do business, and then the players that play here. Obviously, you win games because of your players, and the players have handled and responded well in these environments. And,
sorry, Ed. You've talked a lot about and told us many times that the defense is going to dictate more often than not where the ball is going to go. But it did seem like Saturday you guys made it a point to get Curtis involved right off the bat. Is that a fair assessment that you guys felt like from?
Well, when you have that dynamic of a player, you're going to try to get him the ball as often as you can, and we are trying to get Curtis the ball in different ways. But he's not the only playmaker we have. He just happens to be one that we like a lot, that we makes plays for us. So, when you can get Curtis touches, usually good things happen. And, go ahead.
Is he pretty efficient? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, your name has popped up at least on some boards about the Purdue opening and things like that. I mean, how do you, as an assistant coach, keep your mind on the here and now?
That stuff comes up, and the only way I find out about it is if somebody texts me or if somebody like you brings it up. Otherwise, I'm just grinding. We're trying to get this football team better. We're trying to get this football team ready for a tough road win, and it's going to be tough to do, and just I focus on that. Those things take care of themselves. Those are all things that happen, and I don't have to get involved in any of that stuff, and there's ways that'll happen, and you just stay out of it and take care of your job. The better you do your job, the better things happen for you all around.
What have you seen in JT this week after his performance at Wisconsin? I mean, finishing with 9 of 10 completions, got to do something. Even for a guy as confident as him, he's got to do something to put a bounce in his step.
The thing about JT is I've seen him do so many great things, and then he did it again. And it's just, he never ceases to amaze you. I remember how he played when he was injured in the second half at Penn State a couple years ago over there, and rallied this football team and scored, and we won in double overtime. And I've seen him do that in other games as our quarterback. But the higher the stakes, the more we need him, the higher he raises his level of play, and the more productive he is. So the stats bear that out. The guy's a winner, and he is not going to get rattled. And if you call his number and say, we need you to make a play, it's going to happen. You can count on that. And so, and it's happened time and time again. So our confidence level in him and his confidence level and this football team's confidence level in him is tremendous.
You know, some people's voices go up in duress under times. Does his stay even keel? I mean, I know Tim talks to him a lot, but I mean, the conversations you've had, I mean,
yeah. He's like this all the time. That's the beautiful thing about him.
How do you explain that? I mean,
confidence, and that's what leaders do. Yeah. If leaders don't have control, if leaders can't control their emotion, and they don't have confidence, if they aren't able to harness the emotions of the moment, then the rest of the team will reflect that. And he's great at harnessing the emotion of the moment and channeling it all into focus. What do we need to do here?
You talked about halftime adjustments earlier. I remember in the national championship game against Oregon afterward, you and Coach Meyer talked about there was a particular running play that you guys wanted to use in the second half, but you didn't want to show it in the first half.
That counter play?
Yeah.
We ran 11 times in the second half.
Yeah.
10 yards a carry.
Yeah.
it was pretty efficient.
It worked pretty well. My question is, how often do you guys do that going into a game knowing we're going to make this adjustment at halftime compared to how often maybe a team throws something at you you're not expecting, you have to make an adjustment?
That's never really intentional. I mean, we don't intentionally hold things out to the second half. I mean, we use them when we need to use them. And sometimes just the calmness of having 5 minutes in the coach's locker room at halftime to just get your thoughts together, it dawns on you, here's a couple things we haven't done yet that are on our sheet that we need to do. And you talk it over as a group. Because the headsets can get hectic. There's special teams, there's substitutions, there's things going on, noise on the field. Sometimes you can't get everybody to talk, but you can get 4 or 5 guys together for 5 minutes at halftime and say, hey, what about this and this? And everybody says, love it, love it, love it, and let's go with it, and you go with it. So sometimes that happens at halftime where you get some clarity on a few things. So, but it's not intentional that we really sandbagged, plays for the second half.
So the Oregon game was pretty rare in that respect.
Yeah, I'd say that's the exception more than the rule.
Gotcha.
Is there a rule of decorum, whatever, when y'all go into your little room before you speak to the offense? I mean, about.
Sorry about that.
I just thought it wasn't me.
The wife.
Yeah.
I declined the wife.
Hey, if it was your agent.
If it was a recruiting call, I would have taken it.
If it was your agent, we'd have a story.
That was my agent.
But y'all have like a little rule, I mean, that everybody just calms down for a second? Or
yeah, we all come in and we all have different things that we've assessed in the first half. And we have a big grease board and we have different things. And we immediately go put kind of our, and then all of a sudden everybody, we start talking. Here's what I like in the run game. Here's what we like in the passing game. Here's what we need to do in the first drive. Here's the next calls we're going to make in these situations. And then everybody says, got it, we got it. We have somebody who writes it all down. Everybody's got it for the second half. And then we go to the players for a couple minutes and then it's time to go again. So that's kind of the protocol.
Thanks so much, Ed.
Okay, thanks,
Ed.
guys.
Appreciate it, man.
I better go call him.
Yeah.